Yo, what is going on, guys? J.Yumeko here, and today we're back with some more Katawa Shoujo. Last time we left off, we had a little incident with our heart after trying to get some exercise with Emmy, and in return, we got a little bit of a homemade lunch with her, and a rooftop date with her and Rin. So yeah, we're gonna see what happens in this episode. I'm still on this thing about I don't think he's taking his pills. The doctor was stressing so much about how, okay, you need to take this every day, but it's either just hasn't been specifying that he's taking them or he's just not taking them, which I don't know, man. When it comes to life or death, I feel like you should remember that. But yeah, we're just gonna hop right back on into it. So let's load. I actually don't think I had to load anything. Okay. The students roll into class for the Saturday morning session, each and every one of them sporting the tired eyes of people who have worked through the night. With only a day left to prepare, I suppose it's not that surprising. Thankfully, we only have to suffer through classes until the lunch break, and then our time is our own. Muto lurches into the classroom in a tired stagger. I suppose students aren't the only people here that enjoy their late Friday nights. Without saying a word, he scrolls some page and question numbers on the board and slumps down at his desk. It's completely atypical behavior for him, but it appears that no one in the class is going to call him out on it. Wordlessly, the students shuffle their textbooks into position and get to work. Not wanting to break the trend, I do the same. Fatigue has made the class antisocial. Not a peep is heard among the ruffling papers. That can partly be attributed to the two empty seats behind me. For some reason, Misha and Shizune aren't present, probably doing council work for the festival. It's very quiet without Misha here. I wonder if she was born as rowdy as she is, or if she's making up for Shizune's lack of voice. Nakai, can I speak with you for a moment? I'm so engrossed in thinking about Misha that I don't even notice Muto approaching my desk. Sure, what's this about? It's probably better if we speak outside the classroom. Something about this doesn't sound too good, but I stand up and follow him out into the hallway. Muto stands in the hallway, scratching his head as he works out what he's trying to say. Not knowing what's going on, I wait silently. I heard from the school's head nurse that you had an accident the other day. Ah, so it's about that. Well, kind of, but it's not anything to be worried about. Yes it is. Anything can endanger your health, anything that can endanger your health is something to be worried about. We try our best to prepare you for life here. Part of that involves knowing your limits and how to work around them. It would remiss me if I didn't speak up about this. Alright, I get it. I'm sorry. Muto closes his eyes in frustration, and I realize that this probably wasn't the best thing to say. Something tells me you're not sorry. Pretend as much as you want, but this isn't a normal school. A lot of people have put in a lot of time, effort, and money to make sure that you and every other student here can have the same level of education as your peers. For you to abuse that by throwing out advice, especially medical advice, is plain selfish. I'm not quite sure if this is actually how he feels, or if it's some act that he's practiced many times to guilt trip students into doing the right thing. Either way, it's working. I understand. This is all new to me, and I apologize. I know my limits now, and I'll be sticking to them. Muto appears to lighten up a little, satisfied that his message has been received. So then, on to my next question. How are you finding your studies? I understand you were laid up for a while. We're not too far ahead, are we? I don't really think so. I tried to keep up when I was in the hospital, so it hasn't been too hard. Muto taps his chin and raises an eyebrow as he absorbs this information. Is that so? I suppose there are still students out there who realize the importance of learning. I wouldn't go that far. I was only trying to keep myself occupied in my little life support prison. Well, yeah, you gotta keep up with these things, right? That's exactly it. One wrong move in this world and you're left behind, right? Right. Wouldn't want that to happen. No, you wouldn't. Every week there's a new scientific discovery. Most of them mean nothing to the layperson, but any of them could be the key to the next big thing. I'll keep that in mind. It's obvious that Mutao's serious talk is over, and he's gone back to his standard, slightly scattered brain approach to life. I think in hindsight that I prefer him this way. He's slightly more predictable in his unpredictability. Well then, I think that's all I really had to say. Let's go back inside, shall we? My relief at that suggestion is insurmountable. Sure. You're the boss, right? Mitao pauses for a moment. I don't think any of the students have ever said that to me before. For an instant, I considered replying to this, but something deep within me tells me to shut my mouth and get back into the classroom. A few of the students jump at the sound of the door, rapidly trying to pretend that they're working on the question on the board. Some don't even bother, their heads slumped on the desk as they nap. Thankfully, it would appear that Matao doesn't even notice them. He returns to his desk and retrieves a scientific journal from one of the drawers. I guess I got him there. The class returns to the near silence that Matao and I left it in before our chat. Mixed feelings of tiredness and anticipation buzz around the room. Everyone here is either waiting for a chance to rest, or the chance to get their last-minute preparations underway. The clock on the wall slowly ticks the remaining class time away, until finally, the bells cry out, ending the torment. Before you all leave, I expect the answers for those problems on Monday. The class sighs as one, instantly regretting slacking off, but still acutely aware of the more pressing issue at hand. The classroom empties in a blink as everyone rushes to their last-minute festival preparations. I stay behind and try to quickly finish the questions so I don't have to bother with it over the rest of the weekend with the festival and all tomorrow. Apart from me, Hanako's the only one left, obviously waiting for Lily. It's weird that Lily comes all this way to our classroom to pick her up. I expect that moving around is at least nominally hard for her than it is for Hanako. But it's none of my business, and I don't naturally ask about it from Hanako. Despite the relative proximity of our seats, neither tries to strike up a conversation about that or anything else either, so an oppressive silence falls upon the classroom. Time passes in silence. It's probably just 15 minutes or so, but it feels longer. I turn pages of my notebook. Hanako turns pages to the novel she's reading. My pencil lead splinters against the paper just when I was about to finish a paragraph. The sounds of my irritated sigh and subsequent fumbling around for a sharpener feel like they're breaking in the mood of the classroom. Hanako keeps her eyes firmly away from my direction. Before long, Lily's tall figure appears in the doorway. Hanako? Her name is all it takes to make Hanako jump up from her desk and run to Lily. They talk quietly for a moment, but it isn't long before Lily leaves down the hallway and Hanako idles back into the classroom, taking her seat once again. I watch Hanako out of the corner of my eye out of sheer curiosity at the idea that the two would be separated. For a couple of minutes she does nothing but sit with her chin in her hand, staring at the desk dejectedly. The boredom evidently becomes too much for her though, her slender frame reaching into her bag and pulling out a small book. Come to think of it, that isn't the one I saw her reading at the library. She must be quite a fast reader to get through them at this rate. After about 10 minutes of restlessly shuffling in her seat and trying to read, Hanako closes her book and leaves too. As should I, since the assignment is all but finished and there's nothing else to do in the classroom. Not that I have anything to do anywhere else either. The school is a beehive of activity, but nobody pays me any heed. I saunter past classrooms full of students frantically doing this and that. Buzzing around like little worker bees. You wouldn't guess the school day's over. It's a bit quieter outside, but not by much. People zip by left and right, hurrying as quickly as they can, busy and energetic. I feel the opposite. The midday sun seems to be draining all of the spirit out of my body, making it feel limp all over. Warm, soft air flows inside my shirt, feeling like a cushion. I yawn lazily, thinking about what I'd do. I'll drop off my books to the dorm first, and then something I haven't decided yet. Maybe Kenji's in his room. On the way to the dorms, I spot Emmy coming my way, running despite not having those weird running prosthetics on. I wave at her and she skids to a stop. Yo, Hisao! Spatters of white and green paint adorn her nose and chin respectively, but her smile is wide as it seems it always is. She leans closer to me, amplifying the feeling she's examining me. What you doing? Nothing really. I don't have anything to do for the festival, and everyone else seems to be doing something important. That's perfect! You can help me in Rin! With the festival preparations? I'm not sure I would be of much help.
That's fine. I'm not doing much to help either.
Emmy grabs my wrist and starts dragging me back inside the school quite forcefully. Even her walking speed is more like jogging, making me stumble over myself simply trying to keep up. The stairs slow down Emmy a little bit. Maybe it's hard to climb with her legs, or maybe she's finally run out of breath. We go all the way back to the 3rd floor into the seniors' hallway, ending up where I left 5 minutes ago. I could just as well have stayed here waiting for Emmy had I known. So, is Rin working on the mural still?
That's right. She needs all the paints and brushes and stuff, so I went to get them from the art classroom.
And you need me to help with that?
Well, Rin told me you had already helped her, so I thought you wouldn't mind.
I see. So, thanks to Emmy's flaky logic, here I am again, collecting stuff from the art classroom for other people. The room is empty apart from ourselves and the lonely specks of dust floating in the air. Emmy skips straight away to the back wall, digging out a tiny, crumpled piece of paper from her pocket. While she tries to make sense of the scrawled handwriting, I take a closer look at the materials lying around here. Dozens of paint cans and bottles are arranged on the shelves in a most unorganized fashion. Some look like they've been left there for several decades, relics of previous art club generations. Next to the heavy stacks of neatly piled drawing paper are boxes full of differently sized brushes and unsorted crayons. The smells of paint, turpentine, and fresh paper float in the stale air, mixing in my nostrils to form that unmistakable scent of art. Emmy studies her notes, comparing them to markings on the various paint cans, and passes them to me as she finds the correct matches. She stretches her neck to look on the topmost shelf, but it's not quite enough. Her eye level stays below the shelf no matter what she does. Emmy gives up and just looks up to the shelf longingly, like a child at a toy store, huffing in annoyance. After a moment of anger, she starts jumping up and down, apparently trying to speed read the labels during the fraction of the second she could see them, and catch what she can. It's no surprise that she fails miserably, and almost manages to bring the entire shelf crashing down. Now I see why lending a hand here would be useful. Come on, let me do that. You can't jump high enough, and I don't want you to hurt yourself trying. Also, I'm like twice your height.
You are not.
She turns around, flaring scorn, flushed cheeks and all. Just kidding, just kidding. Anyway, I'll look up there, okay? She glares at me one more time, but can't come up with a retort. With a grudging humph, turns her back on me. So I begin scrounging around the top shelf for paint, while below, Emmy crouches to scavenge what she can from the cupboards. I shake my head a little. After double checking to ensure that she can't see me do so. Emmy having a complex about her height was a surprise. I wouldn't have joked about it otherwise. She seems easygoing, but I guess everyone has their weak spots. Only after we have almost all the items collected and spread out on a desk like a treasure hunter's spoils do I realize that it wasn't necessarily the height jab that got her riled up. She might not like being told that she can't do something, like jump. But Emmy herself seems to have forgotten all about it already. Quick to anger, quick to forgive. Is she that type of person? At least she doesn't seem to have taken anything to heart, as she chatters away happily while we pick up the rest of the items and then make our way back to Rin. I chivalrously carry the bulk of the materials as we make our way towards the dormitories.
Rin really stressed out about getting her painting done. It's her own fault though. She should have started earlier.
Is she gonna make it?
No idea. It looks good to me, but with Rin, you never know what's going on. I found her this morning lying in front of the dorm in fetal position. She hadn't slept all night. I can't believe that the night nurses hadn't found her. And now she's painted again like crazy.
Yeah, I've noticed that she comes off as kinda unhinged, so to speak. Emmy giggles at that, as well as at my likely too obvious awkwardness.
I don't mind it. She's just a little weird sometimes.
On that I can agree with her. Unlike me, Emmy seems to be cool with Rin's whatever it is that feels so off about her. Still, they don't feel so close like Misha and Shizune do. With them working as a single entity sometimes, it's hard to say where one ends and the other begins. Even though they're so different, just like Emmy and Rin are. And Rin is the most different of them all. different from anyone else I've ever met. Yeah, I guess she's a very unique person. I return to that word again, as if it encompasses Rin's personality by itself, but really it's just a substitute for a lengthy description of her oddities. Emmy giggles as I grasp about for a properly descriptive word.
She's just weird. You know, earlier you spent half an hour sitting on her box. And stared at her toes.
She giggles again in a way that makes me think she doesn't know what's funny about it. It just is.
All the time. All that time.
The working area is a mess, but the mural itself has taken over even more of the wall since I last saw it. The disfigured humans have been mostly colored in tones of red, pink, and orange. Weird, imaginary things populating the space in between. It looks nice. I can't think of any word that would describe the work concisely and comprehensively, so I settle myself on a nondescript nice. But honestly, it does seem that the area around the wall becomes untidier at the same rate as the mural progresses. The ground is littered with dozens of paint cans, various art supplies, and empty soda bottles. Rin herself is in the center of this chaos, standing there looking very cozy as if she was a natural part of the scene. Her pants legs have been rolled up to her knees, exposing her thin legs which sport a drying spectrum of war paintings, similar to those on Emmy's face. Emmy sprints to Rin ahead of me and gleefully jumps in front of her.
I'm back! That was fast. Did you run in the corridors again? Hisao helped me.
Emmy points victoriously at me. Rin turns around, following Emmy's finger with her eyes, looking at my general direction. She nods absent-mindedly at me. She looks like she hasn't slept well since last night. A vacant, glazed stare that's focused slightly off me, and movements like in a slow-motion movie.
Hello, Hisao. Thank you for the help.
Don't mention it.
I just did.
Never mind. Looks like you made some progress. Looking good as far as I can tell.
But now you get more bad luck.
I know, I'm willing to take the risk.
That's a very nice thing to say. For me, of course, not for you. This is why artists are always unlucky. They have to constantly look at their unfinished paintings. So artists can't find the romance. Their favorite TV shows are cancelled, or they die young because of an unspecified disease. It's a deep and mysterious law of the universe. Unless they're blind.
She considers this for a while, looking like she's going to fall asleep.
There is a boy. At the art club, you see. Blind boy. So he doesn't see. He should become an artist. No bad luck guaranteed. Do you think that would be a good idea?
That only blind people should become artists? No, not as such.
You might have a point.
Abandoning this train of thought, she turns again to consider her work and starts humming a tune that I think I can recognize, but can't remember the name of. Emmy arranges the supplies we bought and moves a few paint cans around, trying to bring some organization to the scene.
Emmy, I need the Prussian blue paint. Which one's Prussian blue?
She's staring helplessly at 7 or 8 cans, each with a different tone of blue.
It's the one with Prussian blue paint in it. Jeez, Rain, you're not helping at all.
I look around as well, even though I don't know what Prussian blue looks like either. I wonder what blue has to do with Prussia. Or what Prussia even is. The name sounds vaguely familiar, but I can't place it. While none of the blues look more Prussian than the others, the small print on the labels is legible enough to determine that none say anything about the contents being Prussian. There's no Prussian blue here.
We need to get more then.
I open my mouth to say that actually we're not both needed for such a simple task, like finding another pot of Prussian blue, but Emmy's already grabbed my arm and started dragging me off. I wave to Rin, who doesn't seem to have noticed that the two of us are even leaving. Well, she'll notice when she goes for her Prussian blue and finds out it's not there. Probably not, actually. While I'm busy thinking about how weird Rin is, Emmy's been dragging me back to the art classroom. I feel myself starting to run out of breath. What's the rush?
Huh?
Emmy's giving me an appraising look as if she's trying to figure something out. It's just that you seem to be in a hurry. I'm not sure I can keep up. comprehension dawns on her face.
You're not out of breath, are you?
There's almost an accusing playfulness to her tone. I'm tempted to deny it, but then I realize I've been breathing heavily since we stopped. Guess it's kind of obvious. A little. Not everyone can be in shape, you know. Takes all kinds, right? Emmy frowns. It's not a particularly good frown. That is, I should get in shape? Not that I hadn't already decided to try for that. After that flutter on the track, I figured there's a real need to get in some sort of running habit. I was, after all, feeling pretty good until I had my false alarm. Well, actually I wasn't, but it was fun. Meanwhile, my comment seems to have helped Emmy come to some sort of conclusion.
Well, that's it then.
She gives me a serious look.
You're joining me.
I beg your pardon?
In the mornings. You and I are now running partners. I've got a routine all planned out. In fact...
She produces a crumpled sheet of paper.
I've got it right here with me.
I take the sheet of paper and give it a once-over. Times, dates, and laps all laid out. A slow increase from just a few laps a day to... My god, does she expect to have me running marathons? And where did she find the time to get this all together? And how long has she been planning this anyway? You've been planning this?
A little. But it's really the nurse's idea. He told me to keep an eye on you to make sure you exercise every day like he told you to.
A vast conspiracy? Maybe Kenji's onto something here. This seems a bit much for just keeping an eye on me.
Well, to be honest, I've been trying to find a running partner in the mornings for a while now.
My god, Kenji, if you could only see the scheme unfolding. What do you need a partner for anyway?
It's easier to keep up workout if you're not the only one doing it. Isn't that obvious? You're less likely to quit if someone else is counting on you to be there, right?
I see. And this won't only keep you running, but it'll make sure that I keep running as well. Meaning that I'll be obeying the nurse.
And I'll be keeping an eye on you just like he asked. You caught on quick, Hisao.
And if I refuse? I have no intention of refusing, of course. But I've got to at least put up a token resistance to such a masterfully executed plan.
Well, if you refused, I'd have to pout. And you'd have to live with being the guy who made Emi Ibarazaki pout. You don't want that on your conscience, do you?
As if to demonstrate, Emi begins pouting. It's the most adorable, heart-wrenching thing I've ever seen. Okay, I'll do it. Just don't do that. I feel like I hit a puppy.
So it's settled then. You're gonna be my running partner.
Oh, she said that is a question.
So it's settled, right? You're gonna be my running partner? Follow the workout? And the dietary plan?
Dietary plan?
Yeah, the dietary plan. You've got to eat healthy if you're gonna get in shape, you know.
I examine the workout routine closely. I don't see a dietary plan on here.
Oh, right. I forgot to give that to you.
Another crumpled sheet of paper is produced and handed over. It's somewhat less detailed.
I had the nurse help me come up with it.
The amount of dedication that the nurse has to keeping me in good health is pretty overwhelming. I don't know how many school nurses would get one of their students to spy on me, much less help come up with a dietary plan. Then again, I guess I'm not in a normal school. Maybe that's not just such a bad thing. Then again, this dietary plan seems to cut out just about everything that'll be offered at the festival tomorrow. So, when does our running start?
After the festival.
Right after? What if I had something to eat here? What if I'd have something... I can't talk! Right after? What if I've had something to eat there? I could get a stomachache, you know?
I meant the day after the festival.
I knew that. Wasn't there something we were supposed to be doing? Oh, I guess we should look for that paint for Rin, huh?
Oh no, it slipped my mind.
By the time we get the paint and get back to the mural, Rin's already wandered off. Oh well. Emmy and I both decide to part ways there, leaving the paint on the ground. Rin will find it, whenever she comes back anyway. Festival tomorrow. I'm actually a little excited for it. At the same time, the week's left me feeling pretty tired, so I read a little and then go to bed. Okay. At this point, I'm just gonna assume that when he says go to bed or go to sleep, then that includes taking the pills. Because that has been on my mind for so long now. Alright, we're gonna save here. Alright. I'm really sorry about all the reading mistakes in these past 2 episodes, man. I'm not sure what's going on. I don't know if I'm just tired or what it is. I don't know. But that's gonna be it for this time. If you guys enjoyed, make sure to leave a thumbs up on the video. And if you want to see more of this series, or if you want to, or if you're interested in anything else on my channel, then go ahead and hit the subscribe button and hit the bell notification so that you can be notified whenever a new video comes out. And yeah, that'll be it for this time. I'll see you in the next video.